serving cunt open carry. Hello and welcome to another episode of Cheap Smut. My name is Katie Mizell.
And my name is Carl Mizell.
And this is a podcast that is cheesed to be here. Guys, how are you today?
I am just super duper.
Yeah?
I am great. We had a nice, restful weekend last weekend. We didn't do anything.
We
didn't go anywhere. We didn't leave the state or anything like that.
No, we didn't see anybody.
Nope, didn't see anybody. Didn't do anything like that. Of course, I'm kidding. I'm great. I've been so excited to record this episode ever since we really arrived in Virginia last weekend for Sinful Signings 2024. And we had an absolute blast. So we're right at the top of the show. We're going to spend maybe 10 minutes or so, or however long it takes, really. But anyway, we'll let the spirit take us.
Yeah, seriously.
Take
me right fucking back to Virginia, please.
Yeah, it was nothing short of amazing. If you are active in the book talk community, especially more on the dark romance side of things, where the Sinful Signings folks tend to hang out, you know that everybody, the second it was over, could not wait to go back. Everybody had so much fun that when they announced the dates for next year's event, it's going to be at the same venue.
Yes, no. Next year it's going to be in Blacksburg, Virginia.
Okay,
instead of Roanoke.
That's right. So, that's right, Blacksburg. So it's going to be a little further. Oh, good. That's right. It's like 50 minutes closer to us.
Yeah.
Which, when you're driving like 9 hours, it doesn't matter. So next year is going to be in Blacksburg, but everybody was so excited that it's going to be like 2 months earlier.
Yes.
So that means they don't have to wait as long. Like people like Brian Scala, friend of the show, was already counting down like 299 days to go.
Yep.
Yeah. I could gush and gush and gush about this, but this was really you. I mean, you're the face of the show. That's the reason why people were losing, not everybody, but a couple people like lost their shit when they realized who you were.
Yeah, that was surreal. That was weird.
And conversely, you were not at our table.
Yes,
somebody
I wish I was.
Somebody
so
came. It was I don't know who it was. It was just a patron of the event. They came up to the table and they were like, "Oh, is this the Cheap Smut podcast table?" I said, "Yes, as a matter of fact, it is." "Oh, where's Katie?" She's not here. She's off, doing stuff." "Oh, that's a bummer. I wish Carl would have come." I did.
I'm right here.
Ta-da.
That's amazing. And I still don't know why they didn't think that you were you.
Now, in look, I know I don't have a big presence on social media. I pop up occasionally in videos, not nearly as much as I used to. But I would like to think that I have a very, I don't want to say distinctive voice. It's not like I'm Gilbert Gottfried or Harvey Fierstein or anything like that, but I've got a voice that, a voice for this type of medium. I'd like to think you would notice it.
I think you do. You have a lovely voice.
But anyway, so to tell everybody your experience at Sinful Signings, what you took away from it, some of your highlights, some of the things that you are already looking forward to for next year.
Oh, just my God. Ugh.
All of it.
Okay. Sinful Signings was our first book convention. Yep. And I think we accidentally ruined ourselves for all other book conventions. It was so good. It was so good. The atmosphere was amazing. As far as I know, there were almost no problems. There are always problems. There are always going to be problems when you put that many people together, but they were minimal. They were dealt with quietly. Everyone was comfortable, safe, happy, seen. I got to meet people that I have been admiring from afar for a long time and fangirling over, and they were fangirling over me, and I was pissing my pants with excitement. It was just it was so great.
Yeah, she's not kidding. I was on pants duty.
Yeah.
We went through so many pants.
No, but so there were two rooms. set up with tables mostly of authors and some vendors, some narrators. I walked those rooms 4 or 5 times, and every single time, 4 or 5 times per day.
Yeah.
And every single time I saw something new that interested me or intrigued me or excited me. I met someone new and exciting. I made new friends. I met people that I felt an immediate kinship with in a way that I had not in so long. Like on Sunday morning before we went down for the day, I started crying. I was like, I'm home. I finally found it. Like, I was just so happy.
Yeah.
Highlights, interviewing Bryn Weaver. That was cool, even though I just sort of sat there because I don't do the interview part, I just sit there and hype them while you ask questions.
It's true. She was Arsenio Hall, like,
yeah.
Every time Bryn said anything, it was actually kind of a problem.
They did have to ask me to leave my own podcast.
Maybe we can get Carl in here to finish the interview. He's
already here. I wish he would have come.
Oh, man. That's so lame.
Other highlights, the ball was amazing. Seeing everybody dressed up in all their fancy clothes and partying with everybody. And
the picture of us at the ball, which my sister, we texted it to my sister who was staying with the kids. She added it to our digital picture frame. That was so sweet of her.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
It's very sweet of her.
But that popped up as we were talking about it.
That's all of it. I mean, highlights, all of it.
Yep.
Lowlights, leaving. Looking forward to going back. It's going to be bigger and better next year. Yep. Not like Sinful's going to continue to grow because I know that they are very focused on being a small, stress less event, but I want to go bigger and better next year for Sinful.
Yeah, and we as a podcast, we absolutely will. I mean, we've already started talking about ideas, and everything, and of course, we are going to be there because we were honored.
Oh my God! Yes,
we were bestowed the title by Desi and Autumn as the official podcast of the Sinful Signings community, really.
Yes.
But the Sinful Signings event. So
oh my God, we are the official podcast of Sinful Signings. Throwing up now. So cool.
I would tell you all of the benefits that entails, but you would shit your pants with jealousy. So I'm not going to do that. I don't want to create a mass pants shitting event.
The brown note is just us explaining.
It's literally just, hey, you guys want to be the official podcast? No, they didn't ask. They told us. Because that's what Desi and Autumn do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they don't give you a choice.
Yeah.
You were voluntold into this,
exactly.
this world.
Yep. And to that
lovingly.
end, we both would love to take this opportunity to thank Desi and Autumn and Dave for all of their hard work and just for making an event. They made, just like you made the podcast that you wanted to listen to, they made the book event they wanted to attend.
Yes.
They have no plans, as far as I know, to make it any bigger in terms of like having more table, adding tables or space.
They don't want it to be like nut to butt packed with people.
Nope. They know exactly what they want. They know exactly who they are. I don't want to say it's like it's not curated. It's just they are very confident in what they know they want as an event.
Yes.
And they are, and once they have that framework, because not everybody there was like a true like smut, like Samantha Moran is not really smut. Brian Scala, although his new book
Core Memories is spicy, but his previous ones weren't. Yeah, there were, I mean, I want to say like Dr. J and Ash, who were further down on that same row with Sam Moran. I don't think either one of them write smut. I don't think.
There were lots of voice actors.
Oh gosh,
there,
yes,
or
lots of narrators.
Narrators, if you want to, whatever term you prefer, whatever term they prefer.
Not to mention all the incredible volunteers and the Sinfluencers who made everything run so smooth.
Yep.
It was like a well-oiled machine, except it wasn't oil, it was love. And they were just making sure everything ran smooth. And I think to your point when you were saying like it's a almost curated event because Desi and Autumn know exactly what they want it to be. Mm-hmm. Almost every author who came to this not that large event with not that many attendees relative, almost all of them went home with no books.
Yeah, that's something we talked about earlier today. I kept forgetting to have that point.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that blew my mind, was how so many different authors told us that between sales and trades, that they, like by the time we talked to Kennedy Sutton on Sunday, they said that they had a half a box. They came with 4 boxes, and they were about to leave with half a box.
Yeah, I think in a follow-up TikTok, they said they came with 200 books.
Yep.
And they left with almost nothing.
Yep. There was also, I heard several people mention that an author there said that they did so well at this event that they were going to be able to pay their mortgage for the next 2 months.
Yes.
Like that's... I know what my mortgage is.
Yeah.
and I would be thrilled.
Yeah, ecstatic.
To get that in 2 days.
Oh, I know.
I got to work a lot more than 2 days to get that. So it was... I mean,
they worked a lot more than 2 days.
Oh God,
to do that
I do not want to dismiss like obviously all the work that went into creating it and everything.
Well, obviously, of course, but earning that much in 2 days as an author, that's huge. That's amazing. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And it speaks to the fact that they really created an event that knew exactly what it was, and the people who came to it knew exactly what they were coming for, and they came hard.
Yep.
Ooh, didn't mean to say it like that, but
so much so that when the incident happened, I think even, and I'm overselling it. So we were there for the ball. I would say the ball had been going on for about an hour and a half, but some people were in the ball. Some people were filtering in and out into the lobby. And I was standing in the lobby talking to a couple people, including the wonderful Katie Hurd. And a giant tour bus pulls up, like a big-ass tour bus, like the kind that's like really tall because there's like a bunch of room for luggage underneath. And a bunch of primarily middle-aged men start, middle-aged upwards, I'd say late 60s, early 70s, like in that range, started rolling off the bus. A lot of them wearing Rutgers football jerseys, Rutgers gear, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, Scarlet Raiders, I can't remember but Rutgers University was in town to play Virginia Tech, the Hokies, and they were returning from the game. We would later learn that bus had departed this same hotel at 5:30 that morning to get to the game, and now it was about 9:30, 10 o'clock. They'd been going hard all day, so these people walk into a lobby full of book nerds dressed to the nines.
Yep.
In ball, just ball attire, and the looks on their faces. They were like, wait, your costumes don't match our costumes. Exactly. Our costumes are not costumes. Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. You're all cosplaying as football players.
You're wearing the work clothes of another person. That's what a uniform is. I don't know what to tell you. But the reason I bring that up is because I think just the power of just joy and love that event had. They never. There was one person near the door to the ballroom. I know there was some because there have been some incidents at several events recently.
Apparently, I heard from a couple of people. A couple of the men who were there were not as cool as the ones we spoke with.
Yeah. No, the vast majority of the people that we saw in that space were super cool.
Mm-hmm. The ones that weren't were shut down quick and quiet.
Very quick, very quiet. I might have seen a black bag over a head or two.
Oh my God. If they could black bag people, they would.
All I'm saying...
I can name at least 2 Sinfluencers who have that on a bucket list. They want to black bag somebody.
All I'm saying is I did not expect that out of Desi at all.
I did.
But it was just, it went off without incident, except, of course, the part where Katie, who's already 6'1", is wearing heels, so she's about 6'5", and then a very nice older gentleman, shout out Roy.
Hi, Roy.
I noticed, Katie Hurd and I noticed that you were standing over being chatted up by a very nice older gentleman, and you were making a lot of broad gestures like, oh, thank you, like, oh, that's so, like, you could tell he was saying nice things to you, and then he starts calling other dudes over to talk to you. And it was so funny because you were so tall, and they were all like, average height, 5'9", 5'10"-ish. Nobody was, I was taller than all of them, and I'm 6'2", and I was wearing my Chucks. But it was, like I said several times, retelling the story. You look like Snow White addressing the dwarves. Like, you were all so just like so charmed and like, look at all of you. And I never once got the vibe that it was like creepy or lascivious.
No,
they
were nice, if a little confused.
Yeah.
They were confuddled by what was happening, but they weren't like mean about it.
Never not once.
Most of them, like when we went over to the bar to get drinks, most of them were just like, what food do you have? We are starving.
Yeah, exactly.
Only fried food? Okay. We're going up the street to get pizza.
Yep. Well, that's why I was
Pour
like,
more beers.
Bro, there's a Zaxby's around the corner. Like, it's within walking distance and it's open. So you might want to hit that Zaxby's.
Go get some fried chicken.
Yeah.
In your stomach.
Yep.
But congratulations to Rutgers on the win.
Yep. You've defeated the Vatek Hokies, who had a rough weekend this weekend, too. That last second loss to the University of Miami was not great. Aww. But, what are you going to do?
Sad puppy.
I don't care.
Nor I.
I
don't give a shit about football at all.
I just happen to know it because there was a controversial ending to the game.
Oh.
But that's neither here nor there. So anyway, that is that's all the thoughts that I have for Sinful Signings. You mentioned the Bryn Weaver episode. By now, if you're listening to this on the main feed, you already know that the Bryn Weaver episode. It doesn't matter if you're listening to this. If you're listening to this on Patreon. On the day it releases, the Bryn Weaver episode is out today, Monday, September 30th.
On the main feed.
On the main feed. Yeah. It will be out there. So go and listen to that if you don't know who Bryn Weaver is. She is the author of the Ruinous Love Trilogy, Butcher and Blackbird, Leather and Lark. I don't know the name of the third.
Something in Sparrow, I think.
There you go.
Scythe and Sparrow, I think, is the third one.
Yep. It was picked up to be directed by Chris McKay. It turned into a movie. And it's going to be the first bonus episode on our Patreon as soon as I get my shit together and make my notes. But I have been very busy. I've got to edit this podcast. Tomorrow, I had to wrap up from Sinful, record this podcast, edit this podcast tomorrow, record another podcast tomorrow that I normally record on Mondays, and then I have to drive to Detroit on a Sunday night for an event that is the precursor to a new podcast project that I am working on with a friend that you will hear more about as we develop it, but it requires me to go to Detroit on a Sunday night.
Ugh.
I'm not excited about it, but I love my friend Sean, so and we've been talking about this project for years, so I want to...
Excited for the event, not excited for Detroit on a Sunday night. Sean, he is really excited to go to this. He hasn't stopped talking about it.
I have not stopped talking about it. I'm just not excited to drive... to Detroit. As the Tigers are wrapping up their last game of the year, I will be heading into Detroit. But all of that said, we have been going on for almost 19 minutes now, but we wanted to treat this as sort of a Sinful Signings wrap up at the top of the episode. Sure. But speaking of Sinful Signings, the book that we're covering this week comes courtesy of an author we met at Sinful Signings and became very fast friends with. So, do you need a hair tie?
I do.
Okay.
I don't know if I have
yeah, it's right there. It's under, yeah.
It was in a shadow. I couldn't see it.
No worries. So, so we have a book from an author that we met at Sinful, and as soon as Katie gets done putting her hair up, it's very cute, she will tell us that we are reading
a book that I wanted to buy in print, and then, so here's the thing, I walked the floor on Saturday, and I chose a bunch of stuff to buy, and I was going to buy everything on Sunday, but I did not anticipate the incredible flood of readers who would come and buy everybody's stock. So I didn't get to buy a copy of this book, and I was sad about it, but I still got it through Kindle, and I read Our Darling Isabelle by Natoshia Baer. Hi, Natoshia. I love you.
Hey, Tosh.
It was so good to meet you. So this book, Our Darling Isabelle, is the first book in the Barone Brothers series. There are currently 3 books available. Our Darling Isabelle, Jared's Redemption, and His Paradise are the 3 that are currently available. This one is $2.99, or available through Kindle Unlimited, $14.99 for an Amazon paperback. So, for our triggers this week, keeping in mind that Sinful is a dark convention, this is a very dark romance.
Mind your triggers.
Mind your triggers, please. So, triggers for stalking, kidnapping, coercion and dubious consent, physical violence, gun violence, sequences of torture, blood and gore, jealousy and possessive partners, familial abuse and trauma, mentions of murder and suicide, gambling, smoking, alcohol, and really, really shitty parents.
Really, really shitty parents.
Really. The second really is all caps.
Yeah.
Just so it's really shitty. For our tropes this week, it is an MFM. So this is a fun little bit of trope trivia for you, my love. There is a difference between MFM and FMM romances.
Knowing what I know about the community, I am not surprised that there is a subtle but important distinction between the two.
Yes. So this is an MFM romance, meaning two men and one, or two masculine, one feminine, no sword crossing, as we would call it.
Okay.
So
so if the M and the M are next to each other, there's a sign.
Yes.
Like a yellow circle.
Yeah.
Like a traffic sign, but with like the stick figure. You know, like a crosswalk sign.
Uh-huh.
But instead, it's just like two stick figures like crossing swords.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Now I get it. I was very confused. Yes.
That is our next series of stickers. I'm just saying it on the episode right now so we can start creating trope stickers based on the yellow traffic signs, but we're just going to have different...
Oh, my God. Yes, let's do that. Okay, that sounds like fun. Let's do that. Okay.
Don't anybody steal that.
No. TM. Ours. Belongs to us.
It's mine. Anyway. So there is a distinction if the M and the M is next to each other.
Yes. So this is an MFM romance, cis and heterosexual, because it is a brotherly menage. So that's a very specific kind of menage. Two brothers, no incest.
I don't know that I could ever do
that. Well, you're not the Barone brothers.
And I also have just a sister.
And you just have a sister. Yeah, we don't really have to worry about that so much. Although, what is that movie? The Dreamers?
No.
French? Anyway, I'm not gonna. Anyway, we haven't even finished our freaking tropes yet. Okay, so.
My bad.
Fuck. This is a dark romance. It's a
Oh, it's so dark.
It's a mafia romance too. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh, there's just gonna be people open over bodies.
Whoop. The Michigan Mafia.
Now, there's going to come a time where I'm going to ask you for a favor.
And it's not just going to be plowing my sidewalks.
No. You're going to have to kill somebody.
You're going to have to kill a guy.
You're going to have to kill a guy. But don't you worry. Dale down the road just brought back my wood chipper. We'll take care of him. You just do the killing. We'll do the chipping.
Peggy, look at me. It's going to be easy, hun. All you got to do is put this into the pasties and take them to the church dinner.
I want a
oh my God.
I want a mafia led by Pat and Deb.
Oh, the fucking Michigan Mafia poisoning their enemies at the church potluck.
Pasties made from the meat of their enemies.
Whole new meaning to Fat Tuesday.
Fuck. This episode's gonna be so long.
Oh my God, it really is, but I'm still trying to think of a Punchki joke. Anyway. This is a dark romance. It is also a mafia romance. And I put Insta something because I'm not, it's, I guess, lust, Insta lust. Who Did This to You and Touch Her and Die are both in this, as well as this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Very lightly, but it's definitely there. Our titillations are bondage, spanking with palm and belt, teasing, edging, squirting, untamable brat, breeding kink, primal chasing. I forgot to write the rest down. There are more.
The list.
I am sure of it.
The list of tropes that aren't in the book is shorter.
Yeah, the list. Yeah, for real. All right, so let's start our story, shall we? So we begin with our FMC. Her name is Isabelle Thorne. She goes by Izzy. She's mid-20s. She's got long black hair and big honey brown eyes. She is coffee, warm and comforting, but bitter. But she has a really good reason. So Izzy has spent her entire life sort of barely clinging on with her mom, who is the fuck up of all fuck ups. Her mom, Marlene, say it with me now, eat shit Marlene. We're going to be saying it a lot.
Eat shit Marlene.
Eat shit Marlene is an alcoholic, a gambler, and generally sort of neglectful when she's not outright abusive. Izzy and Marlene still live together. And so at the start of this book, Izzy is working like her 6th double in a row, and her phone is blowing up, and her friend at work, Aiden, is like, are you going to answer that? You think your mom, like, does she need something? And she's like, no, she's probably just she's out of booze and she wants me to bring more home, but I am exhausted and I'm not answering the phone. So at the end of her shift, she and Aiden walk out through the parking lot together, and they have a short conversation about Izzy's mom. Like, Aiden basically is like, I don't understand why you keep taking care of her. And that...
Who's Aiden?
Aiden is a friend from work.
Okay.
He, from his behavior, has a crush on her.
Okay.
But they are just friends. This conversation ends pretty quickly, but it prompts Izzy to go down a thought spiral about her mom and give us a bunch of lovely exposition that we need about how her mother is a truly horrible person. And the reason why she still lives with her, even though she doesn't really have to, is because it's actually better to keep her close. The last time she moved out, Marlene opened a bunch of credit cards in her name and destroyed her credit. So she had to dig herself out from under all that debt. And in the meantime, she just would rather keep Marlene where she can see her.
Yeah, no shit.
Now she has paid that debt off. She is working on saving enough money to disappear.
I give her 3-year-old more space than I would give that woman.
Seriously, you short fucking leash on Marlene.
I mean, all I got to do, like, all I had to do today was clean up a bathroom because she went in there and just played in the water. She spilled a can of Diet Coke at one point, and also she used a crayon on a surface she shouldn't have. Yeah, but she didn't ruin my credit.
Yeah, no, she didn't literally steal your identity.
No. That would be our son, who looks exactly like me.
Yeah, no, he's not stealing your identity. He's a clone. There's a difference.
Fair.
I didn't even realize that you could clone inside of a human body, but I did it.
Good
I don't
job.
even think my genes are in that kid. They just made another little you. But anyway, so now that Izzy is out from under this mountain of debt, she is slowly saving enough money to like ghost her mom. She's got a little tiny safe she keeps under her bed, and she's got $3,000 in cash under there. And as soon as she has enough, it's bye-bye Marlene and hello new life. When she gets home, Marlene is there, but she is dressed to the nines and she's cleaned herself up and she's got makeup on. And that means that she has been to the casino, which is even worse as far as Izzy is concerned, because, well, fuck, every time Marlene goes to the casino, something worse happens. She and Marlene end up arguing, and Marlene slaps her across the face, and then she leaves to go back to the casino to continue the party while Izzy shuts herself in her room. They have a 2-bedroom apartment, and Izzy has a lock on her door. She keeps all of her possessions in her room. She keeps a baseball bat by her door because, you know, her mom brings home shitheads all the time. Yeah. So she just locks herself away and goes to sleep for the evening. We flip perspectives then. This is a multiple perspective book, and we do flip between both of our other MMCs, but I think we first meet Alec. But our MMCs are the Barone brothers. Their names are Alec and Marcus Barone. They're in, I'm guessing, their late 20s to maybe early 30s at the most. both tall, though I believe Marcus is the bigger, beefier one and Alec is the lither, leaner one. Mm-hmm. They both have like short, cropped, black, curly hair, and bright green eyes, and they're covered in tattoos. They look dangerous as fuck, murderous expressions, etc. They own the casino that Marlene likes to gamble in, and also like half of this town, which has a name, but I can't remember what it is. And Baroneville, yes.
Bro town. I don't. I'm not good at naming things. That's why our son's name's Spadoinkle.
Oh, that's true. We did name our son Spadoinkle.
Yeah.
Spadoinkle Hermaldehyde.
Yep.
His middle name is Hermaldehyde. Yeah. It's not spelled the way you think. So we meet Alec and Marcus in their offices at the casino. They are co-heads of the Barone family criminal organization, and they run guns and do murder for hire and loan sharking. That's like their thing.
I really wish you would have just said do murder.
They do murder. They do murder. They run guns. They do loan sharking.
Yeah.
They own a casino.
Listen, I consult businesses for a living.
Yeah.
I diversify your revenue streams as much as you can.
Do murder.
Be gay. And also maybe do guns.
I guess.
Yeah.
Since everybody seems so very pro Second Amendment, I guess we should all just start doing guns a lot.
Just do guns.
Why don't we all just arm up and make everyone really uncomfortable when all the gays have all the guns?
Right.
It'd be really uncomfortable. Me and all my trans friends are going to get a bunch of guns.
You would see the biggest gun control effort ever.
Oh my God.
If the alphabet mafia got there, it started doing guns.
I want to say.
And it'd be fabulous.
I want to say 4 words to you.
Say them.
Serving cunt, open carry.
There's your campaign slogan.
There's your campaign slogan right there.
Katie Mizell 2028.
Serving cunt, open carry. I expect the campaign donations to start pouring in.
Yeah. You can open carry, but it has to be a dildo.
It has to be cunt.
It has to be a cunt.
You have to open carry your cunt at all times.
Oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
Hi, welcome back. Once a year, we do an episode that's just, oops, all digressions.
To Natoshia, either I'm sorry or you're welcome. I don't know. I don't know if you like this part of the show or not.
Choose your own adventure. I will tell you, though, that this is the first episode I'm going to timestamp in the show notes.
Oh, my God.
If you don't want to hear the Sinful Signings update, go to here.
Yeah.
If you don't want to hear Carl and Katie talk about the Michigan Mafia and just want to get into the book, go here.
There are going to be a lot of really great options for audiograms, though.
Oh, thank Christ. Let's go.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Where were we?
Fuck, I don't know.
I don't even remember. Anyway, they do murder.
They do murder.
So they they do crime. They do a lot of crime. Their father started the Barone legacy with drugs, but they are very strictly against introducing drugs into their community. So when they took over the family, they cut that arm off completely. They also increased their philanthropic efforts quite a lot. So they started giving to the schools, and like they built a new library, and I think they like gave the orphanage an in-ground swimming pool or something crazy. I don't know. Like they're really philanthropic for being guys who literally make money killing people.
It's a old trope. Like a lot of the worst, like people are actually like taking care of the community in which they're in.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, they are not bad men, but they are bad dudes, obviously. Both of them have like a lot of blood on their hands. We are not in like the softcore, like grayish mafia version of reality here. They are very ruthless. They are very cruel when they need to be. Marcus in particular is the one who likes violence. Like, he takes a little extra pleasure in the torture elements, whereas Alec is the more cool, collected brain.
Marcus is the muscle, Alec is the brain.
Yeah, they're both very smart and they're both very deadly, but those are the facades that they have chosen.
Got it.
When we first meet them, they are in Alec's office at the casino, and Alec has given Marcus, along with their right-hand man Jared, and another one of their enforcers whose name is Curt, permission to intimidate, shake down, and or kill debtors, because people have stopped fearing the Barones. People owe a little too much money. Mm-hmm. They need to send a message. And surprise, surprise, one of the people who needs a message sent is Marlene.
Oh, no.
Of course. So Izzy wakes up sometime in the middle of the night when her mom comes home with a man, and she peeks her head out of the bedroom just to like see what's going on. And she gets of her first look at Marcus, who is there with her mom. He has apparently pretended to seduce Marlene so that he could bring her back to her home. But as soon as they're inside, he drops that act and he's like, hey, you owe the Barones a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of money. $500,000.
Oh, no.
Just kill her.
Yeah.
Just kill her. You're not going to get that money back.
No.
Just kill her. What? So he shakes her down. He tells her that she's got like 3 days or something to pay this money back. He starts threatening her. Anyway, Izzy ends up interjecting. She has her baseball bat. She comes out. She tells him to leave. She says, we'll get you your money. No, you won't, bitch. Where the fuck are you going to get that money? Anyway, but she tells him to leave. And in doing so, she distracts him away from Marlene, who bolts. Because of course she does. Yeah. Fucking coward. And so he approaches Izzy instead. She swings the baseball bat at him and he just catches it. Because of course he does. And then he like sniffs her and tells her that she smells really good. He calls her kitten. And he says a couple of other like really flirtatious things. Leaves her very shaken. And then just walks out the door. And she goes back to her room. And just locks the door and goes to sleep. She's like, I don't know what the fuck just happened. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going back to bed now, I guess, because it's still the middle of the night.
Yeah. Good luck. I have a hard time sleeping if I hear a cat scratching at the door.
Yeah. She is deeply turned on by that whole experience.
See, I knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, I know.
I was literally no bullshit I was going to say, well, at least she didn't immediately go back to her room and start masturbating because she was so turned on by all of that.
Well, she didn't.
But she was.
She was turned on, but she was confused. She
okay.
She didn't lean right into it.
At least she was confused.
But she was confused by it, but she was also very turned on by it. Marcus is a presence of a person, and he immediately has taken an interest in her. From his perspective, this is an insta obsession. He is all about her. Kitten is one of the many nicknames that he will use for her now throughout the course of the book. There are a bunch, but he never calls her by her name ever again. The next morning, Izzy wakes up and finds a note on the table from her mom that's like, you have to leave. It's not safe anymore. You've got to go. And she's like, fucking Marlene. She ran. Of course she ran. She left me in charge of this entire mess. I guess I have to, I have no other option. I guess I'm going to have to leave too. So she starts packing up.
She should freeze her credit and get the fuck out.
That's what I'm saying. Freeze your credit and go. You have $3,000. It's already more than a lot of people have when they start over.
Yeah. It's a very easy process. Go through the 3 credit agencies. Just freeze your credit.
Seriously. But anyway, so she packs up her stuff and then she goes to work. She works at a bar called the Bar of Burden, which is a great name for a bar. And she goes and she asks her boss for a transfer to another location, another city over. And he tells her that she's one of his best girls. She can't just leave.
I've got shit
and she's
going
like, I'm
on.
moving. I just need the transfer. He tries to offer her some shitty like 10-cent an hour raise or something. And she says no, she just needs the transfer. Eventually, he just drops any pretense of being a good person. He has her pinned up against the door, I believe, and he tells her she's an ungrateful bitch, a bunch of other insulting shit. He can't even get her a transfer because he doesn't own that location. He doesn't manage that. Like, that location isn't his to do anything with. She's just fucked, unless of course she wants to make other arrangements. And then she opens the door and dips.
Yeah.
Double birds over her shoulder. I quit.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Okay, fine. How about a pizza party?
Right?
Pizza party?
Employee appreciation day?
That usually works.
With an ice cream party, but by ice cream party, they just mean they're going to get like a Costco size box of sticks.
Yep. Drumsticks.
Anyway,
sticks are amazing.
Sticks are amazing, but not enough to make up for being criminally underpaid. So she gets back home, and when she gets back, she finds that there is a window open in her apartment, and she's pretty sure she didn't leave it open, but she convinces herself that her mom probably came back for some shit and left it open, because the alternative means that Marcus was back in her apartment, and that isn't something that she wants to think about, because again, she's very confused by the horny that comes with such a dangerous man. The next scene is Marcus and right-hand man Jared paying Daniel a visit, the manager from the bar. So Marcus has been stalking Izzy. Are we surprised? Not really. And he saw everything that happened except the part where they were behind closed doors in Daniel's office. So he wants to know what happened and why Izzy left screaming that she was quitting and flipping him the bird. He gets the information that Izzy wanted a transfer that he could not give her, and then Marcus leaves, but not before telling Jared that they have had several reports from staff members that Daniel has been touching women inappropriately and being generally a creep. Jared does not take kindly to that. The next thing they need is a cleanup crew. And one is waiting outside. Marcus sends them in. As soon as he goes out, he's like, you guys are going to need to go in there in a minute. And
I got all the stuff right here.
Yeah, we just got all the stuff right here waiting. Great.
We can do murder right now.
Yeah. Love it when you can just do a murder.
Oh, God.
So nice to just do murder whenever you want.
I love when a plan comes together.
Yes. So once he gets back out into the parking lot, sends the cleaning crew in, right on schedule, Marlene calls. She calls Marcus. This is the last day. She can't afford to pay him. She says that she can't afford to pay him back. And he says, well, I don't know what we're going to do then, Marlene. I guess I'm going to have to kill you. And she's like, wait, no, you can have my daughter.
That's not really... You can't really give that away.
Yeah. I don't... She's like, she's young and pretty and you can do whatever you want. Just, I can't pay you. Take my daughter. Now... Normally this wouldn't have worked because the Barones don't traffic people. They don't traffic women in particular. But Marcus is obsessed with Isabelle, and now he has been handed her on a silver platter. Yeah. What's he going to do? Say no? He's not a good person. He doesn't have morals to worry about.
Now listen, that's not really your place to be giving a person away.
Now, ma'am. Excuse me. If this was the Michigan Mafia, he would be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. No.
No. I'm so sorry, Marlene. I can't. We know people aren't objects to be traded.
Yeah.
And
we're not.
My mama taught me better than that.
Yeah.
However, if you want to work it out in trade, I got about 14 acres. Hey, need bail.
You could, if you listen. Yeah. You know what? Come bail the 14 acres. We're square.
That would be how it worked, too. It would be. Also, you would probably have to cook or something. Anyway, so.
Bring a casserole. Don't forget, now when you bring this one, take the dish you left the last time.
Always leaving dishes behind, Marlene. Now that Isabelle has been offered up, they put plans in place to kidnap her. Of course they do.
Well, then that tells me that that really reinforces that Marlene was not in a position.
Exactly.
If you've got to take her,
you can't actually. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
I'm no detective.
Yeah. I am. It's me, giant girl detective, here to tell you. Women aren't objects to be traded for value or product.
Fucking dead.
This has been another visit from me, Giant Girl Detective.
Wow, you really are tall up there. 6'1.5".
The half is really important. Save me. Oh my God. Okay. So they kidnap her. Okay. So she is called a moving service, but they intercepted that phone call. Curt and Jared arrive pretending to be movers. They put all of her furniture into a van. And then when they're supposed to drive her to her new apartment in the next town over, she goes to get in her car and her car won't start. Uh-oh. Her shit box won't start. And so they're like, Miss, we need to get, our boss says that we have to be done with this job by like X, so why don't you we'll drive you to the apartment and you can figure the rest out. She's on the phone with Aiden, her friend Aiden, telling him what's happening and that she is going to the new apartment in the moving van and to meet her there. She gets in that van. Jared says, "I'm so sorry," and then he handcuffs her. And
at least he said he was sorry.
Yeah, and Curt, who is in the back seat, comes up behind her and gets the seatbelt in place and pulls it till it locks and like gets her all situated. And they like, I think she bites him or something, and so he tries to like, I think they tape her mouth. She goes balls to the wall trying to keep herself from being kidnapped until Curt has to punch her in the mouth to like knock her unconscious. Not has to, feels it is necessary.
I had to.
Yeah, Curt feels it is necessary to knock her unconscious. And after he does that, Jared's like, Marcus is going to be so mad at you. And indeed, he was. He was incredibly mad. So when Curt and Jared bring Izzy back to the like Barone family mansion / compound, the brothers are in the middle of an argument about bringing her there at all. Alec doesn't want her there. He sees her as a liability. Any emotional attachment that he or Marcus may have is a liability. He would rather she not be there at all. If Marcus wants to get laid regularly, there are plenty of like connected women with that they could be setting up advantageous marriages with. And Marcus is like, those women are boring and stuffy and all raised to be mafia princesses. She tried to kill me with a baseball bat the night I met her. I want her. I want her. Damn it. And because Alec and Marcus are like this, you can't see me, listener, but my fingers are crossed. Alec can't actually say no to Marcus. What's done is done. They did trade Isabelle for the debt. So what's done is done. Yeah. And then Izzy wakes up upstairs and they hear a crash, and Alec's like, I told you she was going to be a fucking problem, man. They go upstairs and she's swinging a lamp at Jared. She's already hit Curt in the head with one lamp and she's swinging a lamp at Jared. And Marcus is like, I told you, man, I told you. Look at her. She's amazing. And her lamp swinging glory. Like, he just loves her because she's a spitfire. It's what he calls her.
Put a lamp in her fucking hands and cut her loose, man.
I know, man.
Watch her go.
Fucking hard on for days. So they get her to calm down, and then they notice that she has been hit. She's got blood on her face. And they get it out eventually, not really, because nobody wants to say it out loud, that Curt is the one that punched her. For the crime of injuring Izzy, Curt is... They dislocate his left arm to get him down onto his knees so that he will apologize to her on bended knee.
Do we know which joint was dislocated?
The left shoulder.
Okay. I'd rather it be a shoulder than an
elbow. Yes, for sure. Although it really does not matter either way, because once they get Izzy out of there, they do murder Curt. Like, Alec didn't really like him that much to begin with. He was kind of a pain in the ass. And then he punched Izzy, and that pissed off Marcus. So now Curt's dead.
Well, no, Curt is Curt is training his replacement on the cleanup crew by being dead, so the next guy can clean up and learn how to clean up.
Exactly.
Oh, and also, you know why we killed him? Because he punched her. So there's your training.
Yeah.
Clean that up.
Yeah. All trained up.
Very short orientation. This is an I-9 job, by the way.
Anyway, once she is free, even a little bit, Izzy runs. She runs through the house and immediately to the front door, but Marcus chases her, warning her that don't worry, like he only gets harder the longer she runs. He loves chasing her. He's really into the primal chase. He eventually catches her and he pins her to the front door and he sort of grinds into her ass while he tells her that she belongs to him now. Her mother sold her. And she doesn't believe him. So he opens up the front door, is like, go ahead. She starts screaming for help and a bunch of armed guards are like, hey.
Hey, aren't you
She runs out.
Aren't you the woman whose mom sold her to us?
Yeah. Oh, hey, look, it's the woman whose mom thinks of her as an object. Oh, fuck, that sucks, man. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so she's like, I don't care I don't know what's going on, but fuck you guys. And then Alec comes around the corner. He's like, you honestly don't know who we are. You don't understand what's going on. My name is Alec Barone. This is my brother, Marcus Barone. We own you.
We are your owners.
She is on a secured and protected compound with armed guards. There is no escape. She will live and work as their housekeeper to pay back their debt until she is done. If we want to do the math, I have the math for you. So she will be paid $20 an hour, work a 48-hour week.
I was going to say, God, I hope she gets paid $500,000 a week.
Right. She gets paid $20 an hour. She works a 48-hour week. Room and board, food, clothes, all of that are provided by the Barones. The Barones already have a housekeeper, but she is much older than Izzy, so Izzy can help her just with the harder tasks. Izzy, who is now called both Kitten and Belle by Marcus, is resigned to this more than accepting of it at this point, but Marcus does promise her that he does take care of what is his. He will take care of her.
I was going to say, this sounds like an upgrade from Marlene.
Seriously, major upgrade.
And that, I'm saying that with the full understanding that you do not kidnap people, you do not assault them. I understand that the Barones are terrible people. I still think this is better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in the long run, I think it is better. I really do. Because neither one of them is literally an alcoholic and her mother.
Yeah, that's
at
what
the
I'm saying.
same time.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. The Barones have no need to steal your credit.
Mm-hmm.
They got money. They do guns, remember? Guns is good.
And murder.
And murder. See, again, diversify your revenue streams.
Exactly. Don't just do guns. Do guns and murder. Maybe arson.
Yeah.
I don't know. Try it out. See what works.
You don't know till you try.
Anyway, in addition to promising that he will take care of her, he also promises her that she will be begging him to fuck her by the end of the week.
I'm skeptical.
I promise you, like, this all was incredibly horny. It's super dark, but also, like, the eyes locking in dark looks and intentional touches. I think at one point he even, like, straight up just licks up the column of her neck. It's so fucking horny. So dark, but so horny.
I'm going to come up to you. I'm going to come up behind you the next time you're slaving over the stove on dinner and just lick you on the neck.
I will punch you.
Oh, man, I'm going to prepare for the wintry freshness of Mace.
If you're coming up behind me on the stove, you better be prepared for the wintry freshness of burns.
Yeah.
Some kind of burn.
Just grab the pot of boiling water and just fling it over your shoulder.
I'm not strong enough to do that. So the next morning, Izzy meets her new supervisor, who is a sweet old lady named Miranda, but everybody calls her Mimi, including Alex and Marcus. She's been their housekeeper for their entire lives. She loves her boys. She will not tolerate a bad word being said about them at all. She lives on the property in like a small house on the back of the property, and she will live and die there. At one point in this book, Mimi has a gun. I fucking love Mimi, as always. So Izzy spends her first day cleaning, getting to know the place. Mimi shows her the ropes. Eventually, she finds herself in Marcus's room cleaning and putting sheets on the bed, and she finds this little jewelry box on his nightstand, and she's nosy, so she decides to look in it, and she finds this really beautiful ring with a little red stone in the center of it with really delicate metal vines around it, like a rose. Another bit of rose imagery for our Beauty and the Beast retelling. And she's looking at this beautiful piece of jewelry when it's suddenly snatched away from her, and Alec is behind her, and he like snatches her face and pushes her up against the wall and threatens her, basically tells her not to poke through their stuff, not to get too comfortable. He doesn't want her there. She doesn't want to be there. Just stay out of his way, basically.
Well, then get rid of me.
Right?
Free me.
For real. Anyway, that's when while he's holding her face, he notices this scar that she has running from like right below her ear down her jawline, and he asks her about it, and she says that she stepped between her mom and one of her many shitty boyfriends and got cut. From Alec's perspective, that story is what flips a switch for him with Izzy. Something about that, like really like deepens his respect for her strength, and starts to crack the shell that he has for his feelings around her immediately. Again, both of these men, upon looking at her, are just deep obsession.
And he knows she's not lying because he knows he's made that scar before.
Oh yeah, sure. He's cut plenty of faces. So, yeah, no, he knows that's for real.
Yeah. But he's hot, so it's okay.
He's super hot. It does help. Anyway, so Alec leaves. Marcus is in the doorway. He's watched this entire scene. He's like, I thought he was going to kill you. That ring belonged to our mom. Like, he was mad. And she was like, you thought he was going to kill me and you didn't stop him? and he says, no, look, don't get it twisted. Like, I own you. Like, you're mine, but that's my brother.
Yeah.
And nothing gets between me and my brother. So, yeah, he would have killed you. And that I would have been mad, but he would have killed you.
I'd have been out $500,000.
Anyway, then he kneels down and puts her leg over his shoulder and eats her out. So it's fine.
What?
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. No, you hear the gears grinding in my head too.
This is akin to the mood shift in The Pitcher's Assistant.
Yep. And then
he's talking about his sad
and then he
upbringing.
fingers her.
His sad upbringing as an orphan.
Yep.
But then a little grief-induced finger banging.
Yep. Exactly. I can't tell you exactly how we got from that ring was my mom's, you shouldn't have touched that or he would have murdered you, to nom 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 nom. But we got there. Got there in the end. Anyway, so even Izzy realizes like this is wrong, and part of her
she's on the clock.
Yeah, well, can't sleep with your boss.
Well, hey man, it did say in other duties as designated by leadership.
Yeah, right. It was right there in the contract. So part of her wants whatever Marcus is willing to give her. She's already developing some kind of attachment to him, and whether or not it's Stockholm, like she'll worry about that some other time, because right now she's getting fingered real good. Like she'll think about that when she's coming on his face.
Yeah, that's a later problem.
Right? Like that's a later person's problem to have. After that, though, the post-nut clarity does set in, and she kicks him out and tells him to never touch her again. The next day...
Seriously. Ungrateful.
I think my brain's transmission is shot from the gear shifting that happened in this book. Right?
Oh shit, we gotta go up a hill.
Yeah, fuck. I don't really know how to use the clutch.
But the good news is once you're at the top, you can just put it in neutral and coast all the way down.
Yeah. So the next day, the brothers get in their car to leave to go do something, and they leave Izzy with Mimi. But as soon as they get to the gate, security needs to like open the gate, and they see her like flash by like she's gonna run out of the gate when it opens. So Marcus right? So Marcus hops out of the car and snatches her up. And he's like, no, really, run some more. For real. The primal chasing thing does it for him. Like, please let me chase you. Please let me chase you.
So that I could catch you and chip you.
Yeah, right?
An air tag on you? Something?
Yeah, something. For real. So before Marcus can get himself too carried away in all of this, Alec intervenes and says, hey, look, Marcus, you're the guy who really needs to go and do whatever this meeting is. Why don't I stay here and I'll keep an eye on her today?
Yeah. Also, why does your face smell like vagina?
We know why his face smells like vagina. Nobody's asking that. We all know why. So Alec sends Marcus off to do stuff. Izzy runs back into the house to hide, and Alec goes to find her. When he eventually does find her, which isn't hard, he puts her over his knee for some punishment.
Wow.
Yeah. So he spanks her with his belt. I can't remember exactly how many times. I want to say 4. And has her call out the number every single time. So this is a punishment. And then he checks for physical confirmation that this aroused her. And in fact, it did.
You can lie. You don't have to tell this person that you're turned on right now.
No, the body. She's very wet.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I thought you were going to say he could smell
Having
it.
said that, the body can also betray you.
Yeah.
You don't actually have to want what your body does. That's a thing too.
That's true. Yeah.
So anyway, dubious consent, but she actually really is into this. So we're not concerned about Isabelle's well-being at this moment.
All right.
She's not really willing to admit to herself yet, but like the punishment is her umami. Like that's the thing that's doing it for her. She likes to argue. She likes to be angry. She likes to be mad. And then she likes to be spanked and fucked about it. Okay. Cool. She's into it. He takes her to his room and he restrains her ankles with these leather cuffs and like hangs them from the ceiling. And then he goes to take a shower. It's like, I'm just going to leave you here to chill out for a little while, but you can't just be left to your own devices. So we're going to restrain your legs to the ceiling and you can think about what you've done.
Yeah.
Well, I go and take a shower.
Maybe just a hook eye latch on the outside of the door.
I mean,
a simple padlock?
Why? When it's so much more fun to hang her pussy exposed from your bedposts while you go take a shower.
Make a statement.
Right? When he comes back, he administers her punishment just for coming into his home at all. Because he doesn't even want her there, don't you know? By edging her until she begs for it. And indeed, she does beg for his dick. He fucks her with his huge dick,
naturally.
Of course.
Yeah.
Raw, because of course he does. No condoms are used in this book at all. In front of a mirror so that she can watch, because he wants her to see the beast that he becomes when he's with her. So sexy. So good. Anyway, so they finish all of that. My girl is absolutely loving her life. And then when they come, he forces her to like watch in the mirror and make eye contact. When they're finished, she is mortified and also worried because she's not on any form of birth control at all. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it, hon. I have a breeding kink. I know exactly when you ovulate. I would never. I keep sure he's on. I went in your period app. I know exactly what's going on. Oh, I know. The face that he's making right now. The violations. Yes, I know. So, bruh. So he's.
I have a breeding kink.
So
I know. So I violated your privacy.
Yeah. I know exactly when.
Okay, you're
ovulating because.
Yeah, I'm not going to shame your kink.
No.
But I am going to shame your behavior.
Yeah, the violation.
I am mad and also disappointed.
Yeah, right? So she is mad about that as well, and they have an argument about it, but that argument doesn't last long because Marcus comes home and he pulls in the drive. Alex sees him pull in through his bedroom window on the second floor. He calls Marcus, tells him to come to the bedroom window and to send all of the staff away from that side of the building. And then he takes her over to the window and he pushes her pussy up against the window to show Marcus. Anyway, so Marcus comes racing up the stairs, and it's time for round 2. Alec leaves them. He's like, my work here is done. And Marcus and Izzy have more sex, but it's like super rough and tumble. Nobody leaves without like a bite mark or a scratch or something.
Can't tell if they're fighting or fucking.
Exactly. Fantastic time, catharsis all around. They had the Barone brothers are just a different breed, and y'all you dark romance readers are a different breed. You're a different fucking breed. Yeah. You have so much respect from me.
And don't get me wrong, the whole thing with the mirrors, hot as fuck.
Yeah.
But the gear shifts.
So once they're finished, he cleans her up and tucks her in next to him, and she's like still arguing that she doesn't want to be here. She just got her rocks off with them because, you know, like win in Rome or whatever. But she's not theirs to keep. And he's like, oh, please, you got us both into bed within like 24 hours. We are yours just as much as you are ours. And as much as that touches her, she's still like her walls are up. She's so guarded. Isabelle is so guarded.
Can't imagine why.
Exactly. What ends up happening at the end of this conversation is he offers her a new deal. He says, be theirs for 2 years. And if she still wants to leave when they're done or after 2 years, then she can leave. And she agrees. He, of course, will not actually let that happen, but he doesn't want to leave her floating in the limbo of indentured servitude forever. Yeah. Giving her an exit, he feels like is kinder to her, I guess, in some way. We then jump forward 3 months later. So Izzy has settled into the house nicely. She spends most of her time with Mimi, puttering around the house and doing a bunch of gardening and stuff. There have been no further sex shenanigans with the brothers. And now Marcus wants to let her in on like the business side of things too. He wants her to see all of what the Barones do. So the next scene that we have is her, Marcus, Alec, and Jared in Alec's office going over a bunch of files, and they tell her she can ask whatever question she wants. But the first question she asks is like, what happened to your dad? And they're like, not that question, different question. During this meeting, they get a call from the right hand of the ruthless head of the Kane criminal family, Lucian Kane. His right hand's name is Vincent. So Vincent calls to ask if they know anything about Lucian's most recent shipment being stolen in transport. They say no, they know nothing about it. This sets off the next chain of events in terms of the plot of this book. They have a shipment of guns coming into town to the warehouse this evening, and now they have been made aware that someone is stealing shipments from criminal organizations while they are in transport. So things could get interesting.
Yeah, no
basically.
Shit.
Izzy asks a few more questions, gets a few more answers, but eventually she stumbles into some questions that she doesn't want answered. She finds the black folder that has proof of all of the killing that they have done, and that freaks her out, and she runs out of the room. She declares that they are monsters. Everyone that works for them is monsters. Their father was a monster. Their mother was a monster. And as soon as she says their mother was a monster, that like clicks something in Marcus. You don't say shit about their mom. He goes immediately feral, and Alec has to like punch him to get him to calm down, while Jared is escorting her out like, okay, you struck a nerve, you need to leave. You need to go. And she really truly thinks like, oh wow, he was gonna kill me in that moment. He looked like he was going to kill me. Later that afternoon, once Marcus has had a chance to calm down, he goes and talks to Izzy, and he apologizes for threatening her. And she apologizes for saying mean shit about his mom because Mimi filled her in. Maria Barone was a lovely woman, and no cruel thing should be said about her at all. Their dad really was a monster, though. You can say whatever fucking thing you want about their dad. He was a dick.
That guy, absolute turd.
Yeah. Marcus and Alec have a conference call with Lucian Kane, as well as a German crime boss named Stefan. Lucian wants to know more about the stolen shipment. The Barones know nothing. Everything's sort of pointing in the direction of Stefan, but because Lucian is the only one who's been stolen from so far, he is pointing fingers. That is until Marcus shows up to confirm that their shipment of guns was stolen from their warehouse that night after it had been delivered. So they have an informant or something on the inside even, which is worse. They lost 2 guys, 6 more are injured. Their entire shipment was stolen. And Stefan gets off the phone like, well, I'm not going to get caught with my dick out like you guys. I'm going to go and protect my shipment. But Alec feels like there's something fishy about all of that. So instead of going to war with Stefan, which is something they could do with even this little bit of information that they have, they're going to sit back and wait and see what happens. They instead decide what they're going to do is they're going to invite a few friends from their business contacts to the casino to have a conversation on more neutral territory. Marcus agrees, but only if he can bring Izzy, because he wants to dress her up and take her out. So he has a bunch of clothes delivered, and she goes to her room to find a stack of boxes that probably cost more than my car, you know.
And you've got a Subaru.
Yes, I do. I have a very nice car, but those clothes definitely cost more than the car.
Yeah.
She asks Marcus how he knows her size, and he's like, well, I wouldn't be a very good stalker if I didn't know literally everything about you.
They got literally access to everything. Your period app.
Seriously. They know when you ovulate, they know you're a size 4 or whatever, you know. So knowing everything about her, including her dress size and her shoe size and her social security number, like in a certain kind of way is romantic to her. That's a little romantic. It's kind of romantic. It's also really romantic when he eats her out again. And he does that for a while. But he stops before she can finish, and he tells her not to touch herself. He'll take care of her when they get back later. So she touches herself as soon as he leaves because no, she doesn't play. She's not a good girl like that. And like 2 seconds later, the door opens back up. Marcus is like, I knew you weren't going to listen. So he edges her a few more times until she is finally ready to admit that she wants him and that she belongs to them. And he finally lets her come. And then they go to the casino for the evening.
If somebody tried to do that to me, I would force that. No, I'm going to jerk myself off and you're going to watch, goddamn it. I'm finishing. The nerve.
The nerve.
Look at me. Look at me while I do this.
It's aggressive.
Yeah.
That's really aggressive.
It's this book.
It is this book.
This book is making me aggressive and weird.
Yeah.
And horny. Thanks, Natoshia. I don't know if I want to fight or fuck.
Shit. God.
All I know is either
I have
way,
to be married to this guy after this episode's over.
You're gonna be tired afterwards, no matter what.
So, yeah, you are. It's very tiring. You are tiring.
Aww.
So they go to the casino, but right before they get out of the car, Marcus steals her panties and puts them in Alec's pocket.
This episode. What is with this episode?
This begins a series of events wherein Alec will end up with her panties in his pocket. He has a collection.
Like, what is
over time, he collects panties.
World's horniest magician? The never-ending handkerchief trick, but it's just all of the panties he stole from Izzy?
He is wearing a nice black suit. He would look... He's literally always wearing a nice black suit. He would make a great magician. So while Alec handles their business, Marcus treats Izzy to like a really nice dinner. During dinner, a waitress is pissed, or Izzy is pissed that a waitress keeps flirting with Marcus, like openly throwing herself at Marcus. And Marcus drops a little bit of wisdom, like actual wisdom, which is, it doesn't matter what she does. Because I only want you. Other women don't exist to me. Mm-hmm. Other women don't exist to Alec.
Yeah.
Only outside forces can only affect your relationship if you let them. And I will not let them because I won't even look at them. Hey, look at that. A little bit of wisdom coming out of a guy who literally kidnapped his wife.
Spoiler?
He calls her his wife in this scene.
Oh, okay.
When the waitress is hitting on him, he calls Izzy his wife to make her go away.
I can relate. I'm always just like constantly like, ladies.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's true. It's true. There's a line out the door like Cedar Point.
It's if it is happening, I am deliriously oblivious to it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. After dinner, they go down to the club level of the casino and they go dancing. Marcus goes to get some drinks after they've been dancing for a while, and she loses sight of him at the bar. But then another security guy comes up to her and tells her that Alec and Marcus need her because something has gone wrong upstairs. Because she's already lost sight of Marcus, she assumes he's already upstairs, so she follows the guy, no questions asked. And then he leads her through a back exit and out into the parking lot, where he then forces her into a car to kidnap her. This bitch just keeps getting kidnapped. This poor fucking woman.
What? Wait.
Just keeps getting kidnapped.
Wait, who got her this time?
Seriously, we'll find out.
Oh, okay.
We'll find
but
out.
Who let her out?
He did. This guy.
Oh, just a guy.
It was just a guy.
Okay,
So
I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure.
Marcus left her on the dance floor because he thought that she was safe there.
Okay.
And then she walked away with a security guard because the security guard knew who she was, and he said that Marcus and Alec needed her upstairs. So because she had already lost sight of Marcus, she thought Marcus had left to go upstairs.
Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing something.
No, it was just a perfect series of events. The guy got her outside. He duct tapes her hands and he shoves her in the back of a car. She's screaming, but nobody can hear her because they're inside of a casino. And he starts to drive away. And as he's driving away, that's when Marcus and Alec come out the back door and they start shooting. The shooting is all the distraction that she needs to, she gets up over the seat with her duct taped hands and she chokes the guy out.
Yes.
She chokes him out, feet in the back of the seat to get enough leverage.
Oh.
She's really going after it.
That's fucking awesome.
Amazing. Until he actually loses consciousness. The car swerves to the left and flips into a ditch.
Well, yeah.
Marcus runs up, grabs her out of the car. She's pretty okay, a little banged up, but mostly fine. And they're trying to figure out who he was and what's going on. Alec and Marcus are so busy sort of hand flapping over her and taking care of her that they don't realize that the would-be kidnapper has woken up from his unconsciousness, and he pulls a gun and tries to shoot Marcus. But Isabelle has noticed, and so she throws herself at him just enough to move him so that instead of getting shot in the heart, he gets shot in the upper shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Still bad. Not your heart.
Yeah. But a through and through, and a lot better. Marcus now credits her with saving his life. So could he love her more? I don't think so. Anyway.
So he eats her out.
No, not right then, because he's been shot.
Coward.
They get Izzy and Marcus back to the house to be treated by their personal physician, who is an incredible woman named Dee Dee. Loved her. And they learned that the now dead kidnapper is Curt's brother. So Curt, the security guy who punched her and got killed for it, was, I guess, as far as they can figure out, kidnapping her in revenge.
Okay.
Because they killed his brother. Both Izzy and Marcus are fine. They wake up the next morning all cuddled up together, and it's super cute and adorable. Alec comes in, and the three of them have this really cute, sweet, emotional moment together. And then it turns into this really silly, funny moment where they're making jokes. Jared comes in for a little bit to talk to everybody and check in. They joke about killing him. I promise it's actually funny.
Jared, I'm going to kill you.
Ah! And eventually Jared leaves again, and this scene turns, of course, very horny. They have to get the catharsis out of nearly dying and someone being shot. So they have a threesome. Marcus eats her out while Alec fucks her face. Eventually Alec comes on her chest and Marcus fucks her while Alec is flicking her beat. It's a fantastic time had by all. Everything is great. Although Marcus does pull his stitches in the process of doing all of that. So you called him a coward for not eating her out with the gunshot wound. Well, he ate her out with a gunshot wound and he pulled his stitches. Are you happy now?
No.
Yeah?
No.
No? Because you snapped at me?
You almost need a separate podcast to explain all the shit we're referencing.
Seriously, right? So they finish up. How these people were conscious enough to go downstairs like 10 minutes later for their follow-ups with Dee Dee, I will never know. But they go downstairs and have their follow-up appointments with the doctor. After that, then Alec decides he wants to take her to go shopping. This isn't like full-on financial kink, but God, do I love a scene where a really rich dude takes his partner shopping. Like, I love a scene like that. Pretty Woman, this... Fucking, it's been in a lot of books, and I love it every time.
I tried.
Take a bitch shopping.
I tried to do that with you last weekend. I basically cut you loose at Sinful, and you were so financially discreet. It was...
You begged me. You begged me to be responsible.
No, I did not. I did not. I did no such thing. I said, go have fun. This event is for you. Get what you want.
I know, but the week before that, I have on record... Please be nice to my wallet. Please.
Well, I was being sarcastic.
All right, fine. I'll take myself shopping then.
Yes.
I'll go shopping.
Go shopping.
I'll go shopping right now.
Well, not right now. It's almost 10:30.
Okay, fine. I'll go shopping later.
Yeah, go shopping later.
Anyway, so he takes her shopping. While they are shopping, the scene didn't go great. So while they're... While they're shopping...
I just love the rapid fire editorializing. This next scene didn't go
great.
Anyway,
the personal assistant shopper bitch in the store is flirting hardcore with Alec, and that makes Izzy very jealous and uncomfortable. So to get back at him for that, she has Jared help zip up a dress for her, and Jared's like, "You're gonna get me fucking killed."
I love this book so much.
It's so good.
This is so fucking good.
It's so good. So Jared's like, "I'm gonna fucking die. Don't do this," but he does it anyway. Alec gets mad. Eventually, he's like, "Buy one of everything. We're leaving."
This book is a smutty, it's just a record scratch after another.
I know.
I
know. It's just amazing. It's just so good. I had a smile on my face the whole time.
It is bonkers.
I know.
I love it.
It's so great.
Oh.
So they leave
one
the
of everything
store.
they leave, yeah.
They leave the store. She's mad. He's like, "Do not ever let another man touch you ever again." And she's like, "Okay. Big fucking talk, mister." The sales assistant was literally sitting on the arm of your chair with her tits in your face serving you champagne. Like,
yeah.
I had a problem with Alec's behavior in this scene. Katie had a problem with Alec's behavior in this scene. There was a double standard because if any man had treated her like that, he would have shot them.
Yep.
In the building. She had a little bratty moment and asked Jared to zip her dress up for her. And he had a pissy fit about it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That is a disproportionate response.
Alec, come on. All right. Well, this is a dark romance, so we didn't say that they were healthy or emotionally responsible people. Fine, whatever. So ultimately, what ends up happening is he spanks her for bratting while explaining in great detail that he and Marcus are hers, devoted and loyal. They could have any woman they want, but they only want her. No other woman will ever threaten her place. So she doesn't have to be bratty anymore. I believe that happened in the car. The next scene that we have, Marcus and Izzy go out for a walk in the gardens after a few days. Like, things have been really awkward and uncomfortable. Ever since Marcus threatened to kill her for speaking badly of their mother. That'll put a damper on any relationship. So he takes her out to the gardens to go and have a conversation, to talk about everything and see why she still feels like she doesn't belong there. Why she feels like...
I think I know why.
I mean, I don't know that I do. Because, like, they're twisted motherfuckers, but also every single time she expresses any amount of concern for them not wanting her, they're like, "Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I want you so much. I'll kill people over it."
But then there's the constant specter of death.
The constant specter of death, yes. But not feeling like, okay, so feeling unsafe there and not feeling wanted there are two different things.
Okay.
He asks her why she doesn't feel wanted there.
That's fair.
And she says, like, okay, well, it's because I grew up with Marlene and you grew up with an actually loving mother. Like, I don't have the internal stuff necessary. I think I'm broken. Like, I think I'm a broken person.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells her, no, we understand. Our mom was great, but our dad was Joseph Barone. He was awful. He was a monster. He was abusive. Our mother loved him at some point, but she didn't by the end.
Mm-hmm.
He abused literally everyone he ever came in contact with. He would not take no for an answer.
So we swore that ours would be a kinder, gentler crime family.
And by all accounts, it is. But
that's why I love NoHo Hank in Barry. I love the idea that the Barones have like a little bit of NoHo Hank in there.
God bless.
Should I get one babka?
Yeah, two babka. Anyway, so he says, look, our dad was an abusive piece of shit who built an empire on the backs of crime, drugs, and killing people. He was awful. Our mother could not leave. Literally, like, he would have murdered her. But her children were safe and taken care of to the best of her ability, even if they were, being beaten up by their father. They had warm bellies, or they had full bellies and, warm beds, and it was as good as it could be. They also had an older sister.
Oh, dip.
However,
she
refused to be married off for like crime, family, marriage of convenience or whatever. And she died the same day in a car accident. And while they can't prove it, they know their father is the one who did it. At that point, Alec also arrives in the garden and continues telling the story, which eventually concludes with Maria Barone knew she could not escape. So she waited until her sons were both old enough to take over, and she killed her husband and then herself.
Christ.
And left the family to them.
There's the dark.
There's the dark. Holy fuck, is that dark. But that scene ends with them holding each other. There's an incredible emotional catharsis. They all realize that they are all broken people, and they could potentially find a little bit of peace with each other. And then the house blows up.
and see, I should have fucking known. I'm sitting here going, oh, they're gonna fuck about it. Nope.
Then the house blows up.
Tosh, well fucking done.
Right. So someone has set off bombs inside of the mansion. The men do their best to protect Izzy. Security swarms out, but they are overwhelmed by some unknown opposing force. There are canisters of sleeping gas. Everyone is knocked unconscious. And when the brothers wake up again, Izzy is gone. They've lost, I think seven men lost. Most of them were only knocked unconscious, but they did lose 7 men. And they find the calling card of the German crime boss, Stefan, so they know where to start looking. The men call in every favor that they have to get support, bodies on the ground, weapons. 3 hours later, they're strapped from head to nuts, and they're all on their way to Stefan's. Izzy wakes up in the basement of some defunct building being held by Stefan and a couple of other dudes, and she has a quick conversation with Stefan before he has to step away because someone is there to collect her, but he doesn't say who. She's tied to a chair and she's being watched over by 2 guards named Chi, short for Chihuahua, because he's so jumpy, and Jeff, who I love. Jeff calls her princess, and it is not until there are explosions outside of the building, which was a frankly fantastic action sequence. Everyone should give Marcus all of their grenades all the time. It makes him so happy to blow things up. Marcus loves to blow shit up. And so they storm the place with grenades. So when those explosions start, Jeff shoots Chi in the kneecap and says, come on, princess, it's time to get going. And that's when she realizes, oh, fuck, wait, princess is also what Jared, my favorite security guard, calls me. Jeff is a mole for the Barone organization. He takes her to leave. But unfortunately, they are cornered by Stefan and his men before they can get out of the building. Jeff is killed. However, he has bought Marcus and Alec enough time to get into the building to find her. They corner Stefan with Izzy. Again, grenades. It makes Marcus so happy to blow things up. They get her back. They blow Stefan to smithereens and they get out of the building, only to then be confronted by a third organization of fully armed men.
What the fuck was Marlene getting up to?
I swear to Christ, okay? I swear to God.
Please tell me that she had everything to do with this.
Sort of.
Okay.
Sort of.
Okay.
So they are surrounded. A car pulls up. Marcus is like, this is gonna fucking suck. And they pull their weapons out. But the person who steps out is Aiden, her friend from the bar. And he's like, I'm here to come and collect you. Your father is waiting for you. Her father is Lucian Kane, head of the Kane crime organization.
Okay.
Aiden works for the Kanes.
And has been keeping an eye on her.
And has been keeping an eye on her. And now he has come to collect her. Marcus and Alec are fully prepared to go out guns blazing to keep her, but she doesn't want anything bad to happen to them or to Aiden, because the first thing they would do is shoot Aiden. And so instead, she demands to be set down. She turns to them and she tells them she does not want them. She does not love them. She is leaving and she is going with Lucian Kane.
Did she give him a big wink?
I mean, no.
Don't worry, guys.
No.
I know what I'm doing. No? Okay.
I thought Alec understood what was happening. I thought he did. And I think even if he did understand, like he still, both him and Marcus shut down completely, emotionally bereft at this point. She has gutted them and she leaves. She is beat to hell at this point because Stefan has beaten the shit out of her. She's got a concussion, a couple of broken ribs, burn marks, plus the injuries from being kidnapped and like flopped around in the car and stuff. Mm-hmm. So she is taken to Lucian's and she is unconscious for a week.
Wow. That's super bad for you.
Yeah, it's super bad for you. When she finally wakes up, Aiden is there. She and Aiden get into a fight because Aiden starts bad-mouthing the Barones. You don't do that. You don't say bad things about her Barones.
They're gonna kill me for hearing you say this shit.
So she decides that what she is going to do from this point forward is that she is going to make everyone's life miserable. She's miserable, so now everybody's going to be miserable. So for the next 2 weeks, so 3 weeks after her being taken by Lucian Kane, she has made life a nightmare for everybody.
She's reached her final brat form.
I love her. She is basically confined to her room. Aiden has to be with her all the time. The only other person who's ever really around her is a woman named Diana, who is just there to like keep her in line and dress her and do her hair and like make sure she bathes and eats. She still has not met Lucian at this point, but the next scene that we get is Diana coming in to tell her that she needs to get ready because Lucian is coming home today. She goes out to meet her father for the first time and is immediately struck by the fact that he looks just like her because she didn't look like Marlene. So she never really knew. She was told by Marlene that her father never wanted her and had just ghosted. Lucian fills in the blanks on that. What actually happened was the head of the son of the Kane crime organization, decided to rebel by finding love, but he found Marlene.
And instead, he found this bitch.
And while he loved her, Marlene loved his status, his power, and his money. She got pregnant. He eventually came to his senses and was like, I'm not marrying you, but the baby can live on the Kane compound. You can come and visit whenever you want. I will take care of it. That was never going to happen. Marlene was never going to give up that kind of like bargaining chip, really, at the end of the day. So she sent falsified medical documentation that she'd had a miscarriage and she ghosted. Aiden happened to be working at that bar because it's owned by the Barones. He made friends with Izzy just because he wanted to be her friend. And when she disappeared, he called in the Kane family resources to try and find her. And they didn't realize that she was Isabella Kane until they found Marlene and started putting all the pieces together. So, like, this shit just fell into place.
That's what I'm saying. So he worked at a bar owned by the Barones, but called the Canes?
He works for the Canes. He's
okay,
always
he
worked
works
for the Canes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So his dad is part of the Kane organization.
Okay.
I think his dad is Victor.
Okay, so there's a connection.
Yeah.
There was a
there's a previously existing connection. Yes, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It just because it sounded like you were like, I should call the other mafia.
Yeah, sorry. No, he works for the Canes. He was working in the Barone bar trying to get information on the Barone finances.
Okay, that makes sense.
All this stuff with Izzy happened accidentally. Lucian Kane didn't know anything about her, but now that he's found her, he doesn't want to let her go again. So essentially, he's going to keep her prisoner too in this compound.
Jesus
and
Christ.
She's pissed. Like, she's mad. Obviously, at the end of the day, like, I can't remember where she has this speech, but she ends up telling him, like, I have never been free ever in my life. You can offer me anything you want, but the only thing that I want is freedom. At that point, I think it's because he's arguing that Lucian is arguing that she should marry Aiden, specifically because Aiden's a good match. It will basically, unspoken, reward Vincent for his years of loyal service by marrying his son off to the heiress.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it will keep all of the other families from snapping, wanting to court the heiress,
mm-hmm.
now that they know that there is an heiress to be courted. She says no, absolutely not. Fuck you. No, I don't want anything to do with this marrying me off to Aiden nonsense. We flop back to Marcus and Alec, who are both fucking miserable. Neither one of them want to admit their feelings. Everybody needs to go to therapy, but they don't because this is a dark romance. So instead, what they have done is Marcus has gotten a gift for Izzy, and he goes to find Alec to take him to the Kane house to deliver this gift, even though Alec doesn't want to go because he's pouting because Izzy left. They go anyway, and they deliver this gift, the gift of Marlene. No one's been able to find her, but they tracked her down. The only thing Izzy has wanted the entire time that she has been in Lucian's care
was to punt her mom.
Was to kill her mom.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing she's asked every day is, when are we going to track down and kill my mother? And nobody's been able to find her. So the Canes deliver her, the Barones deliver her directly to Izzy's doorstep. And this almost becomes a pissing contest because the Canes and the Barones are like the Hatfields and the McCoys or something. I don't know. They don't get along. And so just being on their property is a problem for some reason. Everybody starts fighting. There's our cat fighting, arguing, blah, 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 until eventually Izzy comes in between all of them. Like, they're like pulling guns. Lucian is pulling guns on these men. And she stands in front of Lucian, puts the barrel to her own forehead, and is like, every time you point a gun at these men, I am going to stand in front of it. Stop. They're the only ones I want. And you can demand that I do whatever else, but if you point guns at them, I'm going to stand in front of those guns.
You'd better kill me.
Yep, you better fucking kill me. Exactly. So this is what finally gets it through Lucian's head to start. And what really gets through to the Barones, that they have to leave her to make her own choices now. Like, she's a big girl. So they get in the car to leave. She does tell them, like, that the reason she left is because she didn't want them to get hurt. And Alec is like, you don't get to make that choice. You don't get to decide when we die. Bitch, I think, yes, she does. Yeah. I actually think she does get to decide.
I feel like she at least gets a vote.
You wanted to be in a relationship with her.
Yeah.
Now she gets to decide if you die. Yeah. That's how it works.
Generally speaking, I feel like you have some vested interest in my
I get to decide when you die.
Well, yeah.
To some degree.
To some degree, yeah.
I get to decide. Anyway, so...
It's not tomorrow, is it?
No.
Good, because I got to edit this.
Yeah, you do. That's why it can't be tomorrow.
It's going to be a long...
Because I can't edit this.
Yeah.
I don't even know how.
Oh, good.
We still have more book.
Yeah.
Fuck. So Marcus leaves with Alec, but not before whispering in her ear that he is not done with her. And she goes back inside. Over the next few days, she has a few more conversations with her dad, a few more conversations with Aiden. Ultimately, what ends up happening is she agrees to be the guest of honor at what is basically like a crime cotillion. Like, all the other families want to meet her, and she needs to be presented to all of them as a possible like heiress for their criminal business marriage dealings. Mm-hmm. But it sounded like a cotillion, so I called it the crime cotillion. So she agrees to do this only if they agree to invite the Barones as a viable family for her hand, and if they agree not to kill Marlene. I thought she wanted to kill Marlene.
Yeah, no, She
wanted to kill Marlene. I was real sad when she said no. Well, she didn't want to kill. I was very confused.
Did she at least hoof her?
No, she didn't hoof her.
Oh.
But she was also unconscious. Like,
okay.
They knocked her unconscious at some point. So basically what she ends up saying is, look, put her on a plane, give her $1,000, and tell her if she ever comes back, I'll kill her myself.
All right.
So that's what happens with Marlene. Marlene's out of the picture. She's agreed to do this cotillion. They go all out for this thing. Of course they do, because they have money to spare. And a month later, she is dressed in a beautiful gown and being walked out by her father in this parade of somehow stuffy, boring, like old money criminals, I guess, because she doesn't want to have anything to do with any of them. They're all sycophantic and kind of pathetic. And she goes 2 hours. She talks to everybody exactly as she promised her dad, but she's waiting for the Barones to show up. And eventually they do, by delivering a procession of dozens and dozens of vases of roses.
Oh,
to decorate, yes, to decorate the space and to frame their entrance. When they enter, she's like, why did you do this? This is such a grand gesture. And Alec is like, we had to deliver flowers today. This was a very important day. This is now our engagement party. And he slips a ring on her finger, which is a beautiful ruby surrounded by 2 black diamonds. Love the symbolism. And that's when Lucian arrives, and he's like, excuse me, can everybody please calm down? And can you guys come and talk to me in my office for a second? The party continues on. The Barones and Isabelle go upstairs to talk to Lucian in his office. There's a whole conversation. Feelings are had. Tension is tense. Ultimately, I'm not going to drag my feet through this. She says she's not marrying anybody but the Barones. And fuck you if you think that you can make her do anything else. Mm-hmm. And Lucian eventually agrees. No, I want you to be happy. I want you to be happy. And I think that these men will make you happy. And they certainly are going to keep her safe.
Yeah, how fucking hard was that?
Right? All of this nonsense. So much nonsense. Anyway, he agrees. Isabelle is going to marry into the Barone family. How are they going to do that? I don't know. Should marry one, both? I have no idea. But that is the end of the book. We do have an epilogue.
Always an epilogue.
Sometime later, Alec and Marcus are getting themselves ready for Aiden's wedding. Isabelle comes into the room. She is hugely pregnant. And she's like, come on, Aiden's going to be pissed if we are late. So the men get her all like shuffled off in her pregnant glory to go stand at the altar with Aiden. Marcus is his best man. And just as the wedding procession is about to start, Izzy feels an extreme pain in her stomach. Her legs go out from under her. and she goes into
yeah,
labor.
I was going to say water breaks.
Water breaks, and she goes into labor, and Marcus, again, the best man, swoops her up and is like, "You're going to do fine, buddy," and runs her right out of the church.
Oh, yeah.
And she gives birth to a beautiful baby girl whom they name Amelia. And that is the end of the book. That was our darling Isabelle. Thank you so much. The second book is Jared's Redemption. That's Jared's story. Third book, His Paradise, is Aiden's story.
So much.
It was a lot.
Such a ride.
It's so good. Such a ride. But I do want to point out that those digressions are not my fault. You are the digression king. A lot of this time is you.
Yeah, no, don't worry. It's in the show notes. But
fine. I'm glad you liked it, because really this book was
I had a blast.
It was so good.
I had so much fun.
Oh my God, it was so good.
I loved it. I was into
it.
What are you into?
What am I into? Fuck. What am I into? Ugh. I am into Fruits Basket. Let's go with Fruits Basket. Yeah. I am watching Fruits Basket right now. I am almost through season 2, and I will go straight into season 3, the newest version of Fruits Basket, because it's been made into an anime twice, I think. Fruits Basket, beautiful, incredibly emotional. Do you know anything about it at all? So it's about a girl who ends up moving into the home of a couple of boys that she goes to school with, and they are cursed to turn into animals from the zodiac whenever they are embraced by a person of the opposite sex. So I know.
I love Japan.
I know. I love it. It's fantastic. So she meets all of them, but she in particular makes fantastic friends with the rat, the cat, the ox, and the horse, the monkey, the dragon. Anyway, it's beautiful. I did not think that, I think I told you this the other day, I didn't think I was capable of feeling this kind of rage in my body at the age of 36, but I am so, it is making me feel feelings, deep feelings that I haven't felt in a long time. Mm-hmm. And that's the mark of something that is truly beautiful. Incredible storytelling makes you feel feelings like that. So, Fruits Basket. Yeah. What are you into, my love?
Well, speaking of things that make me feel, that are beautiful and make me feel deep feelings, I am into the Detroit Tigers. Mm-hmm. For those of you, I've mentioned it many times on the show. I'm a diehard baseball fan, so much so that I host another podcast, Put Me in Coach, with my good friend Matt Coggins. And I am a lifelong Detroit Tigers fan, long-suffering Detroit Tigers fan. And if you do not follow sports, all you need to know is that they just pulled off a historic comeback to secure a playoff spot this past weekend. At the start of August, they had a 0.2% chance of making the playoffs. That's how out of it they were. Mm-hmm. At the end of the game last night, it was a 100% chance because they clinched a playoff. They are only the second team in the history of Major League Baseball to be 8 or more games under 500 in August and then go on to make the playoffs. And even that hasn't happened in over 50 years.
Wow.
It was 1973, so just barely 50 years. Maybe 72 is the Mets. They were a young team. They weren't expected to compete this year. It was just to see what see what the young guys got. You know, we'll do our best. Maybe we'll finish 500. And instead, they are the most feared team going into all of the playoffs right now. Reddit is full of Baltimore Oriole and Houston Astro fans going, I don't want to fucking play him. You play him. I don't want to fucking play him. I hope you guys, because the final seeding has yet to be determined for the playoffs. There's a chance that they could either play Baltimore or Houston, and nobody wants the fucking Tigers right now. It is... it's still like you and I were saying last night. Like mm-hmm. People are going to talk about this like down the road.
Yeah, people are going to be like the 2024 Tigers.
The 2024 Tigers was something special. So I'm really into that. I have already told myself that if they get through the wild card round, because they will not have a game at home in the first wild card round, if they make it to the divisional series, I'm going to go see a Tigers playoff game. The last time I could have gone to a Tigers playoff game was 2006. and it would have been the game where Maglio Ordonez famously walked off the A's to send the Tigers to the World Series for the first time since 1984, but I didn't go. So when you go shopping, please don't go too crazy.
Okay.
Because I got to have a little bit of money left over for some playoff tickets. So, yeah, I am into the Detroit Tigers. Bless you, boys. Eat 'em up, Tigers.
Eat 'em up, Tigers. Eat 'em up. Rawr.
Exactly. Do you know what you have on the agenda for next week?
I do. I have a special plan for next week because next week we begin Spooky Smut-tober.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
So I am diving in with a selection of sentient objects for you next week.
An amuse-bouche.
An amuse-bouche, if you will, of sentient objects and weird shit. We're going to get wild. As usual, the Spooky Smut-tober format is going to start goofy and end scary. So we will hopefully be getting into a straight-up erotic horror at the end of the month. I'm still taking recommendations. In the meantime, do the outro.
You can find us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at Cheap Smut. If you would like to send us an email, do it, pussy. cheapsmutpod@gmail.com. If you go to our Linktree link in the show notes, the top link in there after the show comes out on the main feed will be a link to this book. It is not an affiliate link. We do not get any money for it. If you would like to support us financially, you can do so on Patreon for just $1 a month, like these fine folks. Desiree Rodriguez, Local Mind Flayers, Seattle number 42, Bookworm, Vincent Sultanfuss, Kitsune Inc., Cassie, Cassandra, Brian S., April D. Berry, Leah Legend, Dana Goddard, Gemma, Lady Squishy Buns, Tia Esk, Rob Gatika, Angela McNichols, Katie Hurd, Gwendolyn Harper, Seneca O., and Rebecca K. The music that you hear in this and every episode is called Nostalgia by Mackay Beats. You can find it along with thousands of other songs free of charge for you to use at the Free Music Archive, freemusicarchive.org.
Listener, remember, if there is a book in you, write it. And if there's fucking in it, I'll read it.
And then she'll come on this show and explain it to me. I will lose my shit for your entertainment.
Bye-bye.